Hello and welcome to the third Assyrian reading lesson. In the past two lessons, I mentioned that the email address I had given in the introduction to this course is actually wrong and it's not operational. However, since then I have changed that video. Therefore, in fact, the email address is correct. So it is learn.assyrian@gmail.com. I apologize for the confusion. You can send your emails and questions to me. I will do my best to answer you as quickly as I can, but please be patient. Now, in the last two lessons, we learned that in Assyrian there are 22 letters, all of which are consonants, and we form 6 words with them in order to be able to remember them. So these words are Abgad, Hawaz, Khattai or Khatti, Kalman, Sapas, Qarshad. Now remember that this is Noon, which at the end of words it assumes this shape, and this is Tau, which at the end of words assumes this shape. We also learned two vowels. The Skapa vowel are 2 dots that we place over the letters. It has the sound of A, as in father. So this will be Alab, Skapa A, Bet Skapa Ba, Gamal, Skapa Ga, Dalat, Skapa Da, He, Skapa Ha, Waw, Skapa Wa, Zain, Skapa Za, Chet, Skapa Cha, Det Skapa Da, Yod Skapa Ya, Kab Skapa Ka, Lamat Skapa La, Mim Skapa Ma, Nun Skapa Na, Simkat Skapa Sa, E Skapa A, Pe Skapa Pa, Sad Skapa Sa, Qob Skapa Qa, Resh Skapa Ra, Shin Skapa Sha, Tau Skapa Ta. Also remember that Assyrian letters all connect from the right hand side. However, only those with a small tail are connected from the left, and the tail is dropped, as you can see in these cases. So the letters that do not have a tail, Alab, Dalat, He, Waw, Zain, Sade, Resh and Tau, they do not connect, as you can see in these examples here. Now, the second vowel that we have learned is the Ptacha vowel, and it is 2 dots that we place above and below the letters, and it has the sound of U as in up, so it's a short sound, and the following letter is doubled or geminated. So these will be A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Kha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, A, Pa, Sa, Qa, Ra, Sha, Ta. Now there's a point I did not mention at the end of the last lesson, and that is we have 4 letters, which we call them dul, in order to be able to remember them, and these serve as conjunctions or prefixes. So these are dul. Now bet means at or by. Dalat means of. Waw means and. Lama means to. And they connect to the second word. Now if the first letter of the second word has a vowel, then these do not assume a vowel. But if it does not have a vowel, then these letters assume a Ptacha vowel. And that's the authentic or correct way. Some people do not put any vowels, or some put other vowels. But remember that the more correct way is to put Ptacha. So, for example, if I want to say, I want to go home by this road, I will say by this, so it will be Ba'aha. So since Aha starts with Alab, and Alab has a Skapa, therefore Bet does not assume a vowel. But if I want to say, for example, sister of girl, then I will put ptacha on delet because brata starts with a bet which does not have a vowel. Now remember that this is tawalla, okay, a short way of writing tawalla. Now it's the same with wow. For example, if I want to say boy and girl, so then when I put wow here and girl, then I will put vowel ptacha on wow. But if I say girl and boy, then since yala starts with a yod which has a skapa, then wow does not assume a vowel, and we will say brata u yala. So this is pronounced u. And the same with lamat. For example, if I want to say to go home, to home. So it will be labaita, to home. Here I will not put ptacha on lamat because bet already has ptacha. But if I want to say gift to the girl, then I will say labrata, to girl. And this is girl actually, yeah. So now before I start today's lesson, I will read the exercises of lesson 2, which start at page 13. Now on this page we have only skapa. Now remember that I will read from right to left across. So it's up, apla, blaga, blaya, gadasha, gadama, dabasha, drasha, haunana, halala, zawa, zmara, khbaga, khata, yala, yama, kada, kyana, lailai, laha, mana, mnacha, nana, nata, sala, sama, paga, pala, saira, kaya, raasha, shlama, tpaya, tata. Now in the following pages you have both the skapa and the ptacha vowels. Aqla, aqma, bahra, barda, baqra, baqta, gabba, gaisa, gamla, ganna, gardaya, gashra, dagala, damba, darba, dashta, hadama, hauqa, waza, warda, zlapta, zamara, khadatta, khwara, khattaya, khayata, khaylana, khalya, khamra, khmara, khamta, khampa, khaqla, khasha, tatta, taira, tayara, tarpa, yalda, yalma, yalta, yamta, yarha, yarqa, kalla, kalba, kakra, kalta, kanasha, karta, lakhma, lakhba, lait, lakha, laqata, lapha, madnkham, galya, mahnyana, mauzalta, maumaita, mazbatta, makhramta, matlaita, maisha, makka, malka, marga, maram, takhma, matla, matta, nagara, nahra, sahra, sakhaya, saipa, sarga, al, am, amra, amta, asqa, apra, paishana, palcha, palacha, pandana, pasyana, pawa, sadra, sayada, sayara, salalta, salma, sapra, qavamta, qaita, qalta, qamcha, qarra, qarta, rabba, rabbanta, rahta, ramsha, shaharta, shawya, shaina, shmaya, talga, talma, tarba, tar'a. Now I will read these phrases again, right to left across. Yala wabrata gaubaita, saprat qaida gaudashta, sa sakhwara dabrata, darpa alpawa, barda u talga gau darta, pata u natad yala, marat khasad nana, aina u aqlad kalba, پات خورت دیالا آنا و دادا گو میشا خاتا گو کرمد نانا یالا الخاصد بابا قال رام تورا گو پاگا دا باشا قالانا گو اوانا درانت سخایا گو یاما قاقا الپاتد نهرا نانا و بابا گو کرما واند رایا القایا. Now I will read again with the dialect of Urmia this time so that you can see the difference. Yala ubrata gyo beta, saprat qeta gyo dashta, sasakhwarid brata darpa alpawa. برده و تلگه گودرتا پاتا و نات دیالا مارد خاصد نانا آینا و اقلد کلبه پاتا خورت دیالا آنا و دادا گو میشا خاتا گو کرمد نانا یالا الخاصد بابا قال رام تورا گو پاگا دا باشا قالانا گو اوانا درانت ساخایا گو یاما قاقا الپاتد نارا نانا و بابا گو کرما واند رایا القایا. So you will notice that in the dialect of Urmia we have more like a, whereas in the more authentic or correct pronunciation we have more like a. Okay, so now we will do today's lesson in which we will learn 3 more vowels which correspond to the sound of I as in, to the sound of E as in there, and to the sound of double E as in sheep. Now the first one is called Zlama Zauga or Zlama Pshika, which are 2 parallel lines that we place under the letters. And we put them side by side, equal length. So these correspond to the sound of I as in. And the second letter following these, the letter following this, is geminated or doubled. So we have E, B, G, D, H, W, Z, H, D, Y, K, L, M, N, S, E, P, S, Q, R, Sh, T. Now, the other vowel is also called Zlama, but it's called Zlama Qashya or Zlama Yaricha, and it has the sound of E as in there, and it's formed by 2 parallel lines or dots, but in different fonts in the books that you will read, you will find them either placed like this, or like this. So it depends on the font, but the difference between Zlama Zauga and Zlama Qashya is that these are sort of oblique, they are not side by side, and they correspond to the sound of E as in there, or the E in French. So we have E, B, G, D, H, W, Z, H, D, Y, K, L, M, N, S, E, P, S, Q, R, Sh, T. You will probably encounter this more often than the Zlama Zauga, because in plural nouns or adjectives you will find this at the end of the word. For example, Kalba means 1 dog, and many dogs is kalbe, with the Zlama Qashya and the plural sign, which we study later. And the last vowel is that we learned today is Khwasa, which is formed with the letter Yod and a dot placed under it like this, and this corresponds to the sound of E as in sheep. So we will have E, B, G, D, He, we, Z, chi, ti, yi, ki, li, mi, ni, si, I, P, C, Ri, Ri, Shi, Ti. Now, when you start reading, you may find difficulty in distinguishing this from chet. Now, search for the dot here, look for it, and also notice that this gap is larger than in this. But then, of course, gradually you will get used to it. Now, you will encounter this hwasa quite often as well, because it is the sign of imperative verbs in certain types of verbs. For example, zi means look or see, or bni, which means build. And so here it is. And it's also the possessive pronoun for the first singular person, like yimmi, my mother, or babi, my father. So here you will find it in many words. Now, if the hwasa is followed by another yud, then we put only one yud and we place both vowels on that one yud. For example, Italia, which means Italy, is written like this. Italia. So instead of writing it like this, with hwasa and another yud, we will put a single yud and we will place both hwasa sign and the skapa sign on this one yud. So, but you will read the hwasa first and then followed by the other vowel. So now I will give you some examples from the book. Here we have Gilda, which means skin. We have Khizwa, which means vision. Mutra, which means rain. Shimsha, which means sun. It's this sun that is bright in the sky. And we have Ziga, which means bell. We have Sela, which means sand. We have Resha, meaning head. And Tena, which means fig. Then we have Ina, means but. Tima means price. We have Khlita, sweet, feminine adjective. Nisha, which means aim or purpose. Okay, that's it for today. Please don't forget to do the exercises starting on page 21 through to page 24. And goodbye and good luck.